Very quickly, I want to make an introduction to my restricted channel. These videos are extremely raw, coarse language. They were done during a period when I was unable to write. I had reversed the brain damage, but I couldn't write well enough to be published. And my memory of who I was and what happened to me was in flashbacks. And it was extremely brutal and torture for me to write it, even if I could have written it. So I created a restricted channel, not for children, for historical purposes on what happened to me. And then after I completed that, I spent several years to write my story and the research in a condensed, edited version on websites. But with COVID, those websites, I thought I would die. I'm still here. It's 2021. I'm overdue, and I'm 80. But anyway, I'm so trained in living in isolation. It turns out that so far, so good. And make a long story short, I created, I transferred all the research from the websites that were costing me money and going nowhere to free websites that would remain, I hope, for at least a couple of hundred years, with a condensed version of my story on 300 pages and the research. I update regularly every month. During my 37 years of just research and fighting for survival to stay alive when I became terminal, it's very difficult, and it was impossible in Canada for me to reach people like myself until Facebook allowed groups like us. And now that's what I do. So periodically, as I'm helping people or they help me, I remember something important, such as pine trees are toxic. And I put that on, and I update that onto the free website. And I'm stuttering a little bit because I'm really, really tired. And it just dawned on me that I really have to put an introduction onto this channel, because I will do no updates and no research on this channel. This is strictly my autobiography in video form for historical purposes, and it's very raw. And if somebody wants to write the story someday, a couple of hundred years from now, be my guest. But Canada is not a democracy. It never was, and it probably never will be. And the United States is the closest thing to a democracy. But if police can go around shooting blacks, well, so much for that. Okay, over and out.